Hello dear students, welcome to Logical Sciences. So in the previous video we were discussing about the narcoanalysis. Now we will study about the brain fingerprinting technique. So basically this brain fingerprinting technique, this is also known as brain mapping, and it is used to measure the electrical brainwave response. So basically what we do in this technique, we just measure the response, which is the electrical response from the brain, and this was given by Dr. Lawrence A. Farwell. So we will study in this technique how they use this technique to just analyze the actual criminal. So in this image you can see that the suspect is just analyzed by the expert. So he is analyzing him by putting some sort of electrical electrode cap so that he can just analyze the response from his brain by giving some sort of stimulus in the form of pictures, in the form of other graphics, so that he can just analyze whether he was present, whether he was involved in this criminal case or not. Now here in this image you can see that the analyzer is just analyzing the person through the computer screen, and the suspect is placed at the another side. Here in this case also the expert is just present at the another side, and the suspect is present in this side, and he is just being placed at the computer screen so that he can just visualize the stimulus in the form of graphics, in the form of pictures, images, or other sort of stimulus, so that his brain will just produce signals and the expert will analyze them. Now we know that basically in this case what happens, there is actually the P300 and P300 murmur sound. P300 and P300 murmur in this case means that this is memory encoding related multifaceted encephalographic response. So these are the waves which are generated 300 and 1400 milliseconds after stimulus. So P300 is just generated after the 300 milliseconds, and P300 murmur is generated after the 1400 milliseconds. So in this case we just use the technique that is called as EEG, that is electroencephalographic technique. So this technique is used here to measure the electrical impulses which are generated from the brain. So when the brain generates certain electrical impulses, we measure them through the EEG. So as you have seen in the picture that we have placed this EEG electrode on the head of the suspect. So in the head of the suspect there gets generated some sort of signals, and we record them through the electroencephalographic technique and different softwares. Now this P300, we know that this P300 response, it typically occurs some 300 to 800 milliseconds after the stimulus, and those who are tested will react to the stimulus before they are able to conceal their response. So basically there is no chance for the suspect to hide or to conceal the response, because the waves, the electrical waves from the brain, they will just in few milliseconds they are just generated, and we just record them after those seconds, after those milliseconds. So it becomes very effective to just solve this problem of knowing whether he is the suspect, whether the suspect is the actual criminal or not, whether he has actually perpetrated the crime or not. So now so how brain waves are used to detect guilt. So how we can detect the guilt? So there are basically three different waves, or we can say that there are different stimulus which are just generated. So first is the red type, second is the green type, and third is the blue type. So the red type is called as the target, and green type is called as irrelevant, and the blue type is called as probe. For example, if there appears the red wave, we say that the suspect is just expected to know when we give some target stimulus to the suspect, he will just generate this type of wave. And if the suspect has no relevance to the crime, then he will just generate the green wave, which we will confirm that this is the irrelevant wave. And in case of the blue wave, this is called as probe wave. So if the person has actually perpetrated the crime, so he will just generate the blue wave, and through this wave we can confirm that the person is actually the perpetrator of this crime. Now, for example, in this case, this is for example the target wave. We say that the person is just expected, we expect that the person is having the information regarding the this crime, or information regarding the particular incidents which has taken place. So the EEG graph will show us some spikes, like this will show some spikes, so it will just have spikes, and we can say that this is the target wave. Then there is the irrelevant wave. This irrelevant wave means that the person has the, for example, if we have given some information which has no relevance to the study, our investigation, so this is of nothing use. So this is not in a use for us, because it has not to be in relevance to the person, or in relevance to the suspect, and the person is not aware about that information which we have given him or her. So it will show this spike. So this green wave will just show some peaks, and we can confirm that this is the irrelevant. We have given him the irrelevant information. So after that, when we give him some actual information regarding the crime scene which was present at that scene, we have, for example, just collected some sort of data, some sort of information, some sort of pictures, and we will show him the pictures and those graphics. So his brain will just try to correlate them, and on the basis of that, when the brain just correlates with him, so that the brain releases some signals, P300 or P300 murmur sounds, wave signals. So we can confirm that the person was present at that time. Person was actually present at a time, and he has just perpetrated the actual crime, because this information will be only known to that person which has actually perpetrated the crime. So this will show some blue peak. So now after that, the by using some softwares, we have some different we just relate these signals. For example, if we got this type of peaks, then we say that the person is not guilty. For example, here the target signals are more, target peaks are more. We can say that the person is just expected to know, but here is also the blue waves are just down, and also the green waves show some great peaks. So we say that this person is not the guilty. He has not actually perpetrated the act of crime. Then, for example, in case of guilty, we can see that clearly here the blue waves are having the high intensity of peaks. So blue waves have high intensity of peaks, and target waves have also high intensity of peaks. That means that both the target waves and the blue waves, they are just having the same amplitudes. So we can say that they are just getting correlated. So on the basis of that, we say that the person is guilty. So in this way, it becomes very much easy for us to just analyze whether the person has actually perpetrated a crime or not, whether he was present at that time or not. So we can say that the brain fingerprinting technique, this is actually the very effective technique to just analyze the suspect and to know whether he was present at that time or not. And other thing is that this technique is just this can be performed in very few seconds. So this is time bound also, and there is no harm to the patient, to the suspect, and the person is not getting harmed. So person is safe, and it is time effective, and it is also very effective, time bound, and just it is very sensitive as compared to narcoanalysis. In narcoanalysis, we have to give some sort of hypnotic drugs, so they are very harmful to the person. So this was all about the brain fingerprinting technique and the narcoanalysis. Hope you have enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos.